Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Joanna. I have been binge watching My Hero Academia lately and I am obsessed with it. I like art, I like dead things, and I feel the need to weeb out over the show, so I thought it would be fun to make oddity displays based off of the My Hero characters. So that's what this is gonna be, a very experimental odd art video. For these artworks, I'm going to be taking inspo from the characters' character design, their hero costume, their quirk, and maybe their dorm rooms. We're starting off with Eijiro Kirishima, hero name Red Riot, quirk hardening. He can make his entire body hard as a rock. So obviously this art is gonna have a lot of rock themes, starting with this textured acrylic paint by the brand Funto. I'm pretty sure it's just acrylic paint mixed with sand or something similar to give it that rocky texture, and I did add in a little bit of brown acrylic paint by the brand Blake to color match a little bit better, because the reds in his hero costume are actually a dull kind of brownish red. I'm adding red scrap fabric over the corners of the frame because he wears that half skirt thing in his hero costume, and I am completely shredding the edges of this fabric with scissors because the edge of his little skirt thing are also very shredded. Fun fact, I got this picture frame for free online. Somebody was giving away like 5 boxes of old picture frames. I just had to go pick them up, which is great because now I have a base for oddity art. It's not Kirishima without rocks because he's a rock. So here I am painting rocks. I grabbed these rocks out of my driveway and I am painting them black with basics acrylic paint. Kiri's whole color scheme is black and red, which is why I am painting my rocks black, obviously. I am putting a line of paint down that inside of the frame because that is where the backboard is going to slot into, and I am hoping that when I press down, the paint will transfer onto the blackboard, and that will give me a guideline of where not to glue stuff so I can still slot the backboard into the frame. This did work, but I had to put down more paint and do it a second time, and you will see that black line on the backboard in the next shot. Also, that jagged black line going corner to corner that you will see on the backboard, that is a direct reference to that random strap that goes across Kiri's chest in his hero costume. Now for the oddity bits of this art piece, I am using a dead beetle and shark teeth. Shark teeth are pretty obvious because Kiri has a mouthful of shark teeth. He is all fangs. I bought these shark teeth from an aquarium many a year ago. As for the beetle, I found this naturally deceased also a good while ago. I'm not sure when I found it. Anyway, I chose a beetle to represent Kirishima because 1, beetles often lived under rocks or in the dirt, which is full of rocks, so I thought that was a good homage to Kiri being rock hard, and 2, they have a real hard shell, which is exactly Kiri's quirk. I had a couple beetles to choose from, but I ultimately decided on this beetle because it was the cutest out of my options, and Kiri is adorable. Strong and cute, both beetles and Kirishima. Yeah, I thought a beetle would represent Kiri well, and obviously I chose a black one because of his color scheme. Anyway, here I am arranging everything onto my backboard. I'm using hot glue to glue everything into place, and then tweezers to help me maneuver the smaller objects. Little more info on those shark teeth. They came in those super tiny boxes of assorted whatevers from the aquarium gift shop. I used all of the teeth that came in that box, which was 8 total, which was the perfect amount and the perfect sizes because it's 4 big teeth, 4 small teeth. Perfect amount and sizes to make a visually appealing arrangement around the beetle. So I was very happy about that. Here I am putting the frame on, obviously, and apparently a rock or two went a little bit over my guidelines. So I really had to like shove this backboard into the frame because rocks were hitting into it. It took some maneuvering, but eventually I got the backboard into the frame and made it flat enough. I think it's bulging a little bit at the top, but it's not noticeable, so whatever. And then I added on that red fabric onto the corners of the frame, and I don't know why I had such a hard time maneuvering this fabric. I couldn't get it to look nicely and like lay flat. I was having issues. I intentionally cut and distressed way more fabric than I would need to give me more room to play. That way I wouldn't be limited by the size or shape of the fabric. I would have more material to work with and figure out how to lay it down to look good, and I could just cut the excess off later. I actually started to second guess myself, questioning if I even wanted to add on this fabric, because I was like, does it look good on the outside of the frame? I think what was throwing me off the most is this fabric is a much brighter red than the red used on the inside of the frame, but like Kiri's hair is a bright red and his costume is a dull red. So like there is at least 2 shades of red canonically in his hero design. But whatever, I added on the fabric anyway, and I glued it to the outside of the frame only, and I cut off the excess in a way that would make it so I can still open up the frame and remove the backboard if I ever so need, which I really hope I don't, but I keep finding those strings of hot glue, and I would be really pissed at myself if I missed one of those strings of hot glue and then I glued the frame down and I couldn't open and remove that glue string. So I figured, let me just make this openable, so if anything needs to be changed, I can. That's it for the art piece, but I want to talk about the character a little bit now? Kiri is such a cutie. I honestly think he would make such a great boyfriend, and I think he has a thing for Eijiro. I see it. I think Kiri is a fantastic example of healthy masculinity. Like, he obviously wants to be strong and masculine, but he's not a dick about it. Like, he's calm and respectful and lets himself feel his emotions and process his emotions, and he lets himself cry without, like, being negative about it. Like, he just lets himself have the emotions and then moves on. And his masculinity is a very much a him thing. He kind of doesn't give a shit about what other people do, and he doesn't let what other people do or other people's expression of masculinity upset him. He's just chilling with himself, and that's great. Men, take after Kirishima. That's how you be a man without being a dick. I also think he's training to be a hero because he genuinely wants to not just help people, but specifically protect people. His heroism is out of genuine concern for others, not some ulterior motive like fame or fortune or some other shallow reasoning. Yeah, Kiri's a good character. We stand Kiri. Here is the finished art piece. I think I did him justice. I tried really hard not to get reflections in the glass, but that is like near impossible, so I apologize. I like how this piece came out. I think it's really cute, which is very fitting for Kiri because, like I said, Kiri's a little cutie. I want to fangirl and talk about this show more, so go talk about Kiri in the comments, but no spoilers. I'm only on season 5. Don't spoil anything for anybody else. No spoilers. Just give me your headcanons. Headcanons are fun to talk about. That brings us to the end of this video. I will be making more of these Oddity art based off of my hero characters, but it's gonna take me a while to gather supplies, so I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get all of these out, but I do have a lot of ideas and there's a lot of characters to work with, so there will be more of these. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see more of me, click the link in the description box so you can find Instagram, other Instagram, TikTok, a whole bunch of other stuff involving me. Let me know which character you would like to see me make weird art on, and maybe I will get to them eventually. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!